welcome to the show. I am so excited for this next couple that we're going to interview. They got engaged a few months ago. This is Rodney Mathews and Ari J. So, Rodney is a real estate agent. He's known as Real Estate Rod, and he also works in medical device sales. He was born and raised in Southern California and played football at Fresno State. And you may know Rodney from Michelle's season of The Bachelorette and also Bachelor in Paradise. And his fiance, Ari, is an East Coast native now residing in California. She works at Netflix and is currently nominated for a Webby Award for her work on Netflix WhatsApp channel. And the couple met at a bar in Venice 2 years ago, and now they're here less than 5 months away from their dream wedding. So welcome, you guys.
Hi,
Thank
we're
you for having.
Hey! Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to talk about all of your wedding plans. But first, I did kind of want to talk about, what was life like before you guys even met? So,
gosh.
Ari, maybe tell us a little bit more about your background. Tell us about coming from the East Coast over to California, and how'd you land a job at Netflix?
Yeah, it was a completely different life before I met Rodney.
Wow.
Honestly, I was born in New Jersey. I was born in
Okay.
Port Norris, New Jersey, and then I spent most of my adult years in New York. So I went to college in New York, and then I was there for like 11 years. And I was just working in entertainment and music the whole time. And I had all my girls on the East Coast, so I've never even really thought of coming to the West Coast. I was just an East Coast girl, like through and through. And then the pandemic hit. And
Yeah.
it was getting really cold and lonely in New York, and you couldn't go see your friends and family. You couldn't even go outside. So I was just cooped up in my really small New York apartment with like a creaky heater. And it was just, everything was getting bad. And at that point I was working at BET, and I'd asked if I could transfer to our Los Angeles office. Not that we were going into the office, but no one really knew what the future held. So I was like, this pandemic is going to be over soon. Like there might as well be someone on the ground in LA. Really, I was just looking for a way to get somewhere sunny. So that went through. And then I worked remote in Los Angeles for the next year. And as I was working remote, a job at Netflix actually presented itself to me. So I made that transition. I actually got hired at Netflix during the pandemic. And throughout all of these years, I'm single, by the way. I'm very single throughout all of these years, and it's just me and my girls. And I got a dog a couple of years ago, and that was just, my life was just fun. Going out to dinners and brunches, and I wasn't worried about finding any type of relationship. And I knew it would find me whenever I was ready for it, and whenever they were ready for me. And then here comes this guy at a random bar in Venice Beach, which we never went to. So
I've never been in my life.
No way. Oh my gosh.
it was that time to I don't looking for absolutely anything. And I think that was my mindset going out every night and going into the next phase of my life was just like, if it happens, it happens. I'm so cool. If it doesn't, like, my life is great. And thus here we are, less than 5 months out from our wedding.
Gosh. Yeah, here you are. And then Rodney, the first time America met you, you were wearing an Apple costume, which is amazing. Oh, it was so good. It was such a great intro for who you are. It was really fun. And then we see you on Bachelor in Paradise, and maybe just give us a little rundown. Like, what were some of the most memorable moments for you just working on the franchise?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the best moments for me were meeting like all my new friends. Like that was kind of the best part. And a lot of people don't understand that side of it. And the amount of time that you have spending, I joke and say it's almost like a summer camp in a sense of like, you just get to meet all these really cool, fun new people from all over the nation. And then I think even for our season of Paradise, we had people from all across the globe for that one, from like Australia, New Zealand. And it was just that part of it was really fun, and just meeting all my new friends. And, to the point where, one of them, Nate, has become my brother, and that is now one of my groomsmen. And so it's,
oh my gosh.
Yeah. And we've spent a lot of time with Nate out here when he lived in LA, and doing a lot of double dates and stuff, and even my other friends from the show and both seasons. And I just really, really appreciate those guys. And it's like, you all kind of go through your own little bubble and struggle on the show, but we had each other, and that was enough. So I was really happy with that.
Yeah, that's really cool. I know. I feel like, just like you said, with the amount of time that you're spending with everybody, it's like they become like your friends for life in a way. And it's really cool to just kind of see how those relationships have like kept on going just from what I can see from the outside. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right, let's get into how you guys met. You said it was at a bar in Venice Beach, and you guys don't really frequent Venice very often. So, like, how did this all happen?
I also he tells the story best, but before he starts the story, I've never watched the show before. So I had
really
who this man was. I love to
wow,
because it makes it even more this as of
I love that so much.
All
Yeah.
of my friends knew who this man was.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. And not the friend I was with, by the way. So take it away, babe. You tell it best.
No, so funny enough, my friend from the show, Justin Glaze, myself, him, and another friend of mine, we were all talking about, where to go out that night. We're like, oh, let's go out. And they're like, hey, we need to go somewhere new and see some new faces, and we need a new area. I'm like, no, why? And they brought up Venice, and they're like, oh, let's go to the West Side, let's go to Venice, and let's go to the Whaler.
And the same time they're having those conversations, me and my best friend are having the exact same conversation.
No way, gosh.
Flea market. And we were just like, we're so tired of doing the same thing over and over. Like, should we just go to the West Side? Like, we went to this one place, the Whaler, where we met a long time ago and got tacos. And we were like, let's just go to the West Side, and if all else fails, we'll just go get tacos. And that's it. So we were having the same conversations at the same time without even knowing what was about to happen to us.
I never been there in my life, and they're just pressing me. They're like, we gotta go. Let's go check it out. I'm like, I don't know why we would do that. That sounds ridiculous. Sounds like a terrible plan. Very negative about it, which isn't me. I'm always very positive. But that was the one night I was just like, why are we doing this? Why would we go there? And we end up there. And the funny part is walking up. So we got there first, me and my friends, and the security guard is like, hey, just so you know, it's a weird crowd in there. Good luck.
Really?
What? To make it even worse, it's a weird crowd. This is
no way. Yeah, great sell for you guys to stay there.
He wasn't lying. I mean, that night, the drinks were crazy, the crowd was weird, but the music was really good. It
was one of the best.
Okay.
Phenomenal DJ, 90s, 2000s hip hop and R&B all night long.
Love it.
Amazing. It was the only thing keeping me at that point. And I was like, and one of my friends was running late. So I said, as soon as he gets here, we're out. We got to head out as soon as he gets here. And as soon as I said that, in walks this woman, and her and her best friend walk in. And I'm like, wow. I'm just instantly just okay, all right, before we leave, I need to get her name and number, and then we can head out. And ended up staying all night long. It was just the best night I've ever had. And we were just nonstop singing and dancing all night long. And people just kept running up to us you guys are the cutest couple I've ever seen. I'm like,
I did not know.
We just met.
I was I don't even know his last name.
No way.
I kept telling all the girls in the bar, they'd be like, you guys are so cute. And I was like, girl, I know you as much as I know him, which is literally
wow.
But I don't know this.
Wow. So the chemistry was on that first night. Wow. Oh my gosh. So yeah, you guys just start chatting and dancing, and and I'm assuming you stayed there a lot longer than both of you had anticipated.
All his friends left. Besides,
really?
Stayed, and he was like, "Yeah, I'll catch you guys later." And everyone left. He wanted to leave so bad, and then we
right.
All of a sudden, I didn't want to leave anymore.
We actually hung out outside of the bar on the sidewalk after the bar closed at 2:30 in the morning.
And kept
no
singing.
way.
There was music playing from some random person outside speaker, and we just had a whole night. It was insane.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, so you guys have this happenstance meeting at the bar. Then what happened after that? When did you guys start dating, and were there frequent dates after that?
Yeah.
But yeah, both of us weren't playing any games.
No games.
Yeah, really.
I asked her that same night, I said, what are you doing this week? Are you free Wednesday at 7:00? And she was like, what? She's like, I think so. Like, I'll check my calendar and yeah, let's see. And I was like, I'd love to take you out on a date. Like, I'd love to take you out if that's okay.
Well, you had to expedite it because I was going to Brazil for 3 weeks for work.
Oh my gosh, no way.
And I told him that, like, as soon as we met, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I already know we're going to want to see each other. So let me just drop the ball now because maybe he just doesn't want to wait 3 weeks for a stranger to get back in town.
Yeah.
So, I'm leaving next week to go to Brazil for basically the whole month of June and a little bit into July. And so I think that's why that night you were like, I got to set something up. So we actually had 2 dates before we left.
2 dates before you left.
In that week.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh my gosh. That's so great. So you guys saw each other 2 more times.
Yes.
Then you left for 3 weeks. And then did it just like pick right back up as soon as you got back, Ari?
It never even stopped. Like I was so like upset that I was leaving, and I was so excited to go on the trip, but also just so upset because I just made this amazing connection. And I was like, the time difference is so huge. I'm going to be working day in and day out. So half the trip was work. And then my best friend was meeting me there to like have a girls trip for the second half. And so I was like, if conversation dies down, just preparing for the worst, I kept telling my friends, like, it's okay. Like we'll pick back up when we get back and that's fine. And he just never missed a beat. It was always a good morning. It was always a good night. It was give me the full rundown of your day. I'll give you the full rundown of my day, to the point where we were sending paragraphs to each other. And my best friend who I was with was like, are you guys arguing? Like, why are you texting paragraphs? I was like, no, he just wants to know every detail of my day. And I was like, and he's telling me every detail of his day. So we didn't miss. It felt like we didn't miss a single beat the whole time I was in Brazil.
Wow.
And then I came back and was sick. I really thought I was blowing him off because I was like, I can't see you. I'm so sorry. And he kept being like, well, I'll come over. I'll bring you medicine. I'll bring you this. And
she sent the voice note.
I sent a voice note. So I was like, he thinks I'm lying. He has to think I'm lying. So I was like,
yeah,
hello, I'm really sick. And then a few days later, we had our first real date now that we're both back on the same side of the world.
Yeah. And it was amazing.
Then I met your mom the week after that.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It was like pretty quick, but you guys just knew. I love that. It's so good.
Like just having so much fun, like really hanging out with Nate a lot, and his girlfriend Alyssa at the time, because he was living with Nate at the time.
Yeah.
And my best friends were all here. So we kind of just formed like a really close-knit group. The mixing of friends was so easy that it was just so fun to all be together all the time.
Yeah.
That's so good. I mean, that's important too, to make sure your friends kind of gel with each other, especially if you guys are going to all be hanging out a lot. So that's awesome. So, all right. That was back in, was it 23 or 22? 23. Okay. All right. And then let's fast forward a little bit. So your relationship's going on. When did it get to a point where you were like, okay, we want to get married and an engagement is bound to happen?
Well, we moved in together 4 months after the first day we met.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
We were moving.
So you were like, it's happening. It's
like,
on.
we're 30 plus. We know what we want.
Mm-hmm.
It was natural. Like my lease was up. Something happened with him. Like Nate found an apartment and he was like, oh, I guess I can move out too. And I was like, okay, well, I just found an apartment. Do you like it? And he was like, I like it. And I was like, should we just move in there together? I don't know. So it was honestly so easy.
Yeah.
And then less than a year after we moved in together, we got engaged August 12th, 2024. Mm-hmm. And we moved in together in October of 2023. So less than a year after living together is when, but we talked about engagement and marriage on the first date of like, this is what we want.
Wow. That's so good.
Real fast.
Yeah.
Like we were not playing games from the jump and just date 1, date 2, date 3, date 4, date 5. We kept talking about really important topics that we both needed like those answers to. And we're like, hey, these are, I was like, hey, what are some of your deal breakers? Like, I just want to know some stuff. And we just kept going back and forth and telling each other everything. We laid it out on the table and it was great.
to the point where we're like a few days in,
Wow.
and I'm like, so how do you plan on disciplining your future kids? Like, we were getting
Wow, I love that so much.
Let's talk
That's
about
so
it.
good.
You know, so
I know you're like, have I thought about that question?
I was like,
Well,
whoa.
it's so good to think about those tough questions, though. You're like, this is our entire future we're talking about here, and you want to be sure. So that's
We
so
were
good.
both very, very intentional from the start.
Totally.
And so it just felt so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So did you guys go ring shopping at all? Or was it a complete surprise?
So neither, actually, thankfully.
Okay.
So yeah, we didn't go ring shopping, but like she would hint at rings every now and then, right? And I was like, oh, we'll see. We'll see. Like trying to like trick her, but she already knew what was coming eventually. And it got to the point where she's like, hey, whenever you're ready, my best friends have the notes. So like,
Okay.
the notes, whatever you need, they got it. Yeah. So it finally came time. I was like, ladies, I'm ready. I've been saving up. Like, let's talk. And so yeah, I got the like all the notes from them down to a T. And funny enough, there was one time where we were on a trip back home for her. So we were on the East Coast and we were waiting in the airport. And it was actually our 1 year anniversary of meeting each other. So it was June 2024. Wow. And on that day in the airport, she just jokingly sent me a ring. She's like, hey, just another hint. And I was like, oh, let me see. I was like, oh, this is actually really beautiful.
It was my dream ring. And we were sitting next to each other. And I just stared across the top, and I was like, I just want to show you something.
Yeah, I was like, okay, babe. All right. And we're like literally getting ready to get it on plane. Yeah. We're tired.
We didn't talk about it.
Okay, whatever, babe. We'll see. I tuck it, I save it, tuck it away, like hidden somewhere on my phone. And then when it was finally time, I was like, ladies, give me the notes. I'm going to pair it with this picture. But yeah, I went straight to like that picture, the company. And I said, you know what? This is the one.
And it was the exact.
Wow.
You got me the exact ring.
Oh my gosh. I love that so much. That's so good. Can I see it? Do you have it on?
Yeah, I do have it.
My gosh, it is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Good job.
It's so great.
Yes. It's so good. Okay.
And also, tell us. After we got it, remember when we got it resized? Like the same day? We'll get to that when we go into the engagement, but like, on a mission, very committed to the cause.
Always.
Oh, it's good. Yeah. So let's go there. Tell us about the proposal, the engagement. How did it all happen?
Yeah, it was amazing. Definitely very stressful because it's like, what I learned about the process is Ari and I, obviously we live together. So, you know, we share this space and we were together a lot. So we were spending great quality time together. But, you know, there's a lot of times where she works remote, I would work remote. And I was like, I can't get time away to figure out how I'm going to create this surprise. So anytime I walked the dog, that was my time. I was spending 15, 20, 30 minutes walking our dog.
I would text him like, are you okay?
Where are you? Yeah.
Like Jack's really sick. I'm talking to other dog dads, dog moms. Like Jack and I are busy out here. I'm making all my calls, my emails. I'm calling, you know, her best friends. I'm calling her family. Like, I'm just making sure everything's good to go. And it was stressful leading up. But when we got to the day, it was amazing. Well, it was stressful all the way up to that point because I'm just like, I just have to surprise this woman. Like, it's so tough when you share a space to find time for those surprises. But, you know, we love that part of our relationship and it's very important to us. And so with this, her best friend and her family were flying out here for a weekend in August last year. And that's when I knew, and I was hoping that she wouldn't put two and two together. I was like, there's a chance she could, but I'm still going to find a way to surprise her. And we just did a photo shoot, a family photo shoot on the East Coast. And so I said, hey, babe, Mom's wants to do exact same family photo shoot on the West Coast.
Oh, like, that's good.
And I was like, you know, we got to be dressed super nice and this and that. And she was like, okay. And it just made sense because I was like, Mom, create this scenario right now. Like, you better fake this and make it work.
Right. It's up to you, Mom.
Like, me and his mom talk all the time.
I love that.
Friends all the time. And so the fact that they were all just lying to my face, like, thank God they were really good at it. But like, Mom's really, really put it on. Because I'd be like, Rodney's acting weird. Like, why can't we come over? I wanted to go over that weekend. And she's like, oh, I'm busy. And I'm like, you are never too busy for us. What do you mean? You're
Never.
like, why can't we come over and swim and hang out?
Never been a day.
She was blowing me off. Yeah. And I'm like, what's going on?
Like, we want to hit the pool with our nieces. And she's like, no. And she's never said that. So I was like, I gotta hide this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Man.
thankfully it got to end. Yeah, the weekend passes and Monday hits. It was the last day that her family was here and her best friend. And so when Monday hits, that's when I set up the photo shoot. And, you know, we have a rent-a-car. We all get in the car. And before we drive an hour and a half to go to mom's house so I can do the proposal, a really special moment happens like in our house. So me and all the girls get in the car and Ari's here, you know, and you have your mom's ring on your makeup stand.
Yeah.
You know, near in between our bedroom and the bathroom. And all of a sudden she's like coming out of the restroom. She's fully ready to go. And the ring out of nowhere appears right in front of the bathroom door. I don't know.
Whoa.
Yeah. And my grandma passed away like 6 months before I met Rodney, and she was you know, my everything. And she gave me one of her rings like a few months before she had passed away, and I was wearing it all the time. But then it started not to fit right, and I was like, I'm just gonna put it on the dresser. I'm gonna keep it forever. I'll get it resized, all the things. So yeah, my nieces were here, my best friend and her sister were here, and they were all in the car waiting for me. And like, it's chaotic. My nieces were 3 and 1 at the time.
We're stressed in the car.
Wow. Yeah.
It was crazy. So I had like 5 minutes of like, it was silent in the house after a crazy week. And I was just like, I'm going to take my time and just finish my finishing touches. And they're in the car freaking out. And I'm just like, oh, nice and quiet in here. Like,
because side note,
right.
I have 20 people waiting at mom's house to pop out a surprise as like our little, you know, our quick celebration after that. So that was a side note.
So I find the ring and I'm like, weird. I just always acknowledge my mom. Like when I feel her, something like that happens, I'm always just like, oh, I love you, mom. I say it out loud and I put it back. And I was like, okay. So I go to the car and I'm like, guys, the weirdest thing just happened. Like the ring, they all know the ring. And I'm like, the ring mom gave me, like, I was just coming out of the bathroom and I saw something shining and it was just at my feet. And I'm like, isn't that so weird?
Whoa.
And they're crying. Like my best friend's sobbing. His eyes are watering. And I'm like, guys, I know it's crazy, but like, it's okay. I don't know. It's
this
okay, guys.
Has no idea what's about to change that day. And it was just such a beautiful sign. And literally that morning, I pray all the time. And I just prayed up to heaven. And I'm just like, Mom, Rudy, her dad, I'm just like, please watch over us and give us your blessing. And if this is meant to be, please guide us today. And that's exactly what happened. So we get in the car, we drive, and we get to mom's house. And I think real quick, she's like, okay, I'm going to use the restroom. I was like, thank goodness. So she's hiding. I have like 30 seconds to make sure everyone's in place. And I have the ring handoff, hide it real quick. And then I grab her hand. She's like, what is going on? Like, where's everybody? Like, you know, moms and everything. And I'm like, babe, I swing open the door and I'm like, look, I know why mom did that today. And she's like, what? And that's when I walked. I already had a floral set up. So flowers are set up in this walkway.
You went all out.
Overlooking the hills of where I'm from. And it was a picture perfect scene, beautiful scene that day, just the best day of our lives. And she was like, wait, what? And she was just so shocked. And I was like, oh, thank goodness the surprise worked. I was like, okay, it feels like it's working. Because she was just like, and like we both just started thinking, I was like, no, I need to get this out first because I've been practicing this in my head. And obviously just every guy I black out.
Right.
So I remember like 2 words out of my 5 minutes of rambling. But, you know, we finally, you know, I take a knee and as soon as I pop it out, she's just like, yes. And I'm like, no, I got to ask you. Like, I'm like, please let me.
Haven't even asked yet.
Okay. And I was just like, you know, will you make me the happiest man alive? And I was just so excited. And she said yes. And here we are.
Oh my gosh. That ring story is so amazing. Like she was really looking down like from you guys from heaven. And it's just so cool. And then all your family came out. Did they all come out like during the proposal or like after?
Right after. Like they were so excited, like trying to rush. But I told them, you guys better all stay back until I say my part. And then we're good. And as soon as they saw us like hugging, kissing, she said yes. That's when they all pop up from around the corner of like.
My back was turned towards them the whole time.
Well,
so
I had to
no
position
idea.
her. Yeah, she was just looking at me like shock and looking at the flowers. And I positioned her to make sure she didn't see anybody around the corner. I was like, everybody,
good call.
Quiet. Yeah. So that worked out perfectly.
That's so good. I mean, the photos and videos that you guys have and posted just look phenomenal. And like you said, with all the flowers and the view, it was just like so picture perfect. And to have all your family there, and it was so dreamy, so amazing.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's get to your wedding plans. So I know your wedding's coming up pretty quick now, all of a sudden. So do you guys have a location, like a city that you're going to be getting married in? And of course, I'm sure your venue is picked out already. Maybe expound a little bit more about what your wedding is going to be like.
Yeah.
Just like everything with us, we moved pretty fast.
Yeah.
It all felt so right. So we've, since Ari's from the East Coast, she was like looking at a lot of spots near our coast and the West Coast. And I was like, these are great spots. But I was like, I also would like you to kind of check out, where I'm from in the Inland Empire near Rancho and Riverside.
I'm like, I'm not getting married in Rancho Cucamonga. Like, I love where you're from,
don't
but
sleep on it.
No way.
Right.
No way. And I was like, I'll give it a little look. I'll do anything to make them happy. So I'm like, I'll give it a little look.
Sure. Why not?
I found this place in the IE that wasn't Rancho, but was where his mom lives in Riverside. And I was just like, have you ever heard of the Mission Inn? Like, it just looked like it was straight up Spain or Italy, like very European. It's really a castle, and it's a landmark in Riverside. And he was like, oh, the Mission Inn? Like, yeah, we go there every Christmas to see the Christmas lights. Like, it's just what it's known for. And I was like, well, have you ever seen like the chapel and like the reception space? Like, it's absolutely gorgeous. And he was like, no. So I showed him, and I was like, this is my number one spot. And he was like, I told you to give the IE a chance. And I was like,
yay.
Even out of like places we're looking in Malibu and Santa Monica and Santa Barbara, San Diego, even like beautiful spots. But I was like, this feels like grand. Like, this feels like we have a destination wedding. I was like, this just feels how I want it to feel, very regal.
Putting the pieces together, I'm just like, signs are real. And that's the story of our relationship is that signs are very real and everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And we're very faithful and spiritual people. And it's just like beautiful moments like that where we looked at each other and we're just like, we're meant to be here. We're meant to be married here. And it just became so special to us immediately. Our tour ended up being 3 hours.
3 hours because we toured. I'm pretty particular. You're pretty particular, but you're also just like, oh, I like it. You like it.
Very true.
Whatever. And like, I want to see every single corner of this space. So
it was our favorite. It was her number one. And as soon as we get there, it was just so beautiful and just such a Spanish style feel. And it just everything about it felt right. And
we booked it
envision it
the next day.
Yeah, we booked it immediately.
Only venue. Perfect. Any other venues?
No way. Your first and only venue you toured, you booked. That's incredible.
It was meant to be. And there were some that we wanted to see, but we were just like, if our number one is doable, we love it that much. Why would we have so much more energy to spend on other things, which we found out down the line how crazy wedding planning is.
Yeah.
So we're actually happy that we didn't waste our energy looking at any other venue.
Yeah, that's so good. All right. So maybe for all the other categories, do you have your dress? Like, do you have DJ bands? Like, tell us about maybe some of the other vendors that you were like excited to pick out.
Yeah. So honestly, I like what I like. Like, I already knew the dress I wanted to get married in before I even tried it on.
Awesome.
I only saw it. I saw it on Instagram. It's a Galia La Havre dress. And I remember being like, oh, I saw a reel of it. And I was like, I just feel like this is going to be my dress. I saved it and I moved on because I was like, I'm not even engaged yet. But so I had a little dress fitting back east with all my friends who are back east because the girls wanted to do something. And I did find a dress that I really, really liked. But I was like, there's no way I can make a decision until I try on this Galia La Havre dress. And the only friend, my friend Natalie, who's one of my bridesmaids, was the only friend available to go dress shopping with me back here. So the two of us just linked up one like Friday after work. We're like, should we just go try on the dress? Like, not a big deal at all. I was like, I know I'm going to like it. Let's just go try it on. And so we get there and we are working with the stylist, Anthony. He's amazing. And I was like, I need to try this one on first, but I'm open to trying on however many dresses you want me to try on. Because I want to have the experience of like,
Yeah,
a
totally.
luxury bride.
It's your one chance. Yeah.
Yeah. So I tried it on first, immediately fell in love. Like I literally put on, I was like, I could leave right now, but I will do myself. It would be a disservice to myself in this experience if I didn't try on more.
Yeah.
So I put on like 15 more dresses. And then he's like, now the last one, we're going to put you back in the one that you really love. And we'll just see how you feel about it. And I put it on and that's when he like veiled me up. And I had Natalie with me and my 2 maid of honors on FaceTime. One of them was in South Africa and one's back in South Jersey.
Whoa.
We're all over. And everyone's just sobbing. And I'm like, Anthony, back it up. Like, this is it.
Done. Check. Got it. Yeah.
So we did the measurements and we did everything. And I sent it to his mom and all my girls. And everyone's like, this is your dress. So that was relatively easy. Thank God. It's like the big thing. We already knew what DJ.
I left DJ up to her. I was like, she knows the DJ scene. She's going to find a good one for us.
Yep. And so the DJ is actually a DJ that when I first started going out in LA after the pandemic was over and I could actually like explore the city I've been living in for a year. He was at all the places I used to go. And I'd be like, oh, cool. I want to go wherever he's playing because the vibes are immaculate. It's hard to find like a East Coast vibe in LA sometimes. And he just covered all bases. And I was like, I love this DJ. Like one day when I get married, he has to be my DJ. So we formed some type of friendship of just like, I go where he goes. And he knew me and my.
That's so good.
Thank you girls for always supporting me. Like you girls show up all the time. So we formed a friendship and I knew as soon as we were getting married, I was like, I have to get DJ Sean G. So I texted him and I was like, hey, I know you don't really do weddings like that, but hear me out. I need you. Like I will do whatever.
Yes.
And he was like, I'll always do like a homie wedding, like a homie discount, a homie wedding, but I won't.
That's so good.
He's like, it's not going to be traditional, but it's going to be what you like from me. And I was like, done. And you were 100% in. You trusted
perfect
what I wanted. So that was good. And then our photographer,
oh my gosh,
fell into our laps. Like
our photographer. Really? So the day that we went to go tour the venue, she saw us and she was like,
recognized him from the show.
And she immediately was just like, I would love to be the one to shoot your guys' wedding. We checked out her portfolio, her page. Instantly loved it. And I was just like, wow, I can't believe like we found our photographer back to back. Like
she found us.
Wow.
Yeah, she found us.
Yeah, right?
It was our dream. Like as soon as I saw her photos and I saw other weddings that she actually shot at our venue, I was like, oh my gosh, we need to lock her in right now. So we booked her the next day, that night?
Yeah.
That was done in like no time.
Amazing.
Even before or after that, we knew we wanted a violinist.
Yeah.
Violinist was cool for us. Yeah. And so we found this guy who just kept going viral named Jeremy Green. And he's just, everything he did was so nice and so smooth and elegant. And we just knew we're just like, this is the guy. So like I hit him up immediately and was just like, dude, I would love for you to do our wedding. And he was just like, yeah, I'm on board. Done. Like, here's my info. Here's my manager's info. Let's set it up and, let me know the dates and I'll double check the calendar. And we talked with him and his manager, booked it. And we're just like, let's go. So we just kept moving. We were just knocking off our list.
Like this is all.
No way. You're like, here, half the wedding's planned.
Literally.
You guys are on top of it. I'm like, that's just what we do.
Yeah.
That's so good. I love the fast decision making. You guys aren't getting decision fatigue. You're like, I saw a few things. I know what I want. Let's do it. I love that. That's
we're very
so
good at like narrowing down to 2 to 3 options. And we're like, let's pick it. Like, do you like this? We like this. Let's do it.
And we have such stressful lives with like our jobs and just everything else that goes on in our lives. And we're just like, let's make this easy. If we like it, let's just do it. Like, we don't have to see, and listen, it's not knocking anyone who wants to have like 10 options because sometimes you will find the better option down the road. But also like, we just don't know if there's a better option because we like the ones we have and it works for us. So we're like, we don't need to explore 20 because then, like you said, the decision fatigue is something that I was dreading. And I was like, if we could stay as far away from like being torn, that would make this process so much easier for us. And it has.
Oh yeah. 100%. Yeah. I love your outlook on that. That's so good and so smart to just go about your wedding planning that way. Yeah. That's awesome. So are you guys having a big wedding, a small wedding, medium? Like, what's the size? And will we see any familiar faces? I know you said Nate is one of your groomsmen.
Yeah, it is pretty big.
Okay. Yeah.
It feels pretty big. We're gonna have 150. I think we
okay.
170, 165.
We invited 170, and I keep telling this man, people are gonna. We have very loyal friends and family. And he's like, well, like 20 people are gonna say no. So like, we'll get down to 150. And I'm like, babe, we have to invite like 160 max and hope that 10
yeah.
Yeah, and she was absolutely right. And I get way too optimistic. Like, we'll be all right. We'll be good. And that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think you call it dangerously optimistic.
Yes.
That's who I am. Ari comes in with like the realism and the realistic view of like, okay, babe, I love your optimism, but this is how it's actually going to go down. And this is what's going to happen. And it's like, we find that balance. And so, yeah, she was absolutely right. Because people left and right were like seeing the save the date.
Yes, yes.
Like, yes. Like, I can't wait to be there. Can't wait to be there.
I'm like, guys, it's not even the invitation yet. It's the save the date. SVP. I'm like,
already confirming,
and loves us, that everyone wants to come, and we're so thankful for that.
We're so thankful.
So if we have to expand it a little bit, we will.
But it's so excited. It's just going to be a beautiful, perfect night. And yeah, there's going to definitely be some familiar faces. We got some of my friends from the show that I invited. So yeah, it's going to be very nice. Who have all told me so far that they're coming, but we'll see. Either way, we're so excited. It's going to be the best night.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So I know you said your wedding venue is kind of like a Spanish style. Are you kind of playing off of that for your decor and everything, or what's the vibe?
You know, the thing about our venue is like the bones are good. Like it is so naturally beautiful that we really just want to add on to it. So there's a lot of original stained glass from like the 1800s that's still there.
Wow, gorgeous.
We're married in this chapel that has like this. How tall are the ceilings? Like 30 foot?
They're so tall.
They're huge.
I keep saying it looks like a mini Notre Dame. It's just
no way.
Beautiful of just like,
wow.
But it's got these like original pews that are built into the walls.
Yeah.
So we're really adding like our florals and candles and a lot of to the reception space, my like floor to ceiling drapings and things like that. But it is going to be like Spanish and European style because that's just what the venue is. And we don't want to take away from that. So I'm like, I don't want any like purple or pink lights. Like it's very romantic. It is very like, there's a lot of deep reds in there and the walls aren't very stark white. They're very ivory and like an egg white. And, you know, there's like cracks and like little imperfections, but it makes it so perfect for us because that is just also like my dream style home. So when we went, I was like, one, I want to live here, but two, I'm definitely getting married here. So we're going to keep it really, really classy. It's black tie, formal black tie. And we'll be in our bridal party will be in black. So my girls will be in like black satin gowns, and the dress code is like everything below the ankle because we want people to feel really regal and feel like I keep telling the girls and all my friends who are just invited, like they're like, what do I wear? And I'm like, if you have something in your closet that you're like, I don't know where I'm gonna ever wear this to. Like I don't have anywhere to wear this. So I'm like, that's what you wear to my wedding. Like
I love that.
Elevated, very fancy. Like the guys will be in suits and tuxes, and we just want everyone to feel their best and have this once in a lifetime experience. Like hopefully they'll have it more, but we do want it to be a time where everyone's like, this was so different for me, and it's different for us too. Chill. We just chill.
And the food ended up being really good, and so we're so excited about that. We did the tasting, but the cake.
This is his thing.
The cake is what set it off because it's the best cake I've ever had. And I think we could both
amazing.
Yeah.
But her Crazy Sweets by Jay, she's out near my hometown, and she gave us a sampler box of 6 slices of cake. And she's like, all right, out of these 6, let us know what 3 you like, and we can layer it for you. And I was like, cool.
Oh, so nice.
3 tiers. And we were just so excited, and we're like, all right. And the first one on the list was cookie butter. That was like the wild card.
We didn't request that one. She was like, I'm just gonna throw this.
She's like, I'm trying this one out. Well, I want to see what you think. We tried that one out first, Best cake I've ever had.
We almost started crying.
Unreal.
Tears were your eyes. We're
No way.
what are we even eating right now? But then the other flavors, what did we have?
We had, so tiramisu was my favorite dessert. Creme
Ooh,
brulee is
yeah.
hers. We had churro, we had red velvet, and we had a cookies and cream.
And strawberries and cream.
Oh, strawberries and cream.
Yeah.
Yes. So we had
That
those
sounds
three.
amazing.
And they were all really good.
Yeah.
And it was a debate for us. But the fact that we kept talking about the cookie butter and kept thinking about it so much, we originally were like, we'll do these 3 flavors. And we're like, no, this one's so good. We need everyone to try it. So it's like the whole cake will just be this. It's just too good.
Perfect.
Like, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It's amazing.
Once again, it was the first thing you tried and the thing that you were like, done. I see this trend happening with you guys. You're like, just show me the best you got. And yes, that's it.
I'm in love in your 30s.
I know. Yeah, seriously. All right. So I ask everybody on the podcast this question. Do you have any advice for couples who are planning their wedding now?
I feel like we both have the same advice.
Let's hear it.
So something that
Let's see if it is.
I'm just speaking for the both of us. Like, I think you're going to be. We are in premarital counseling right now. And
Love.
we really pride ourselves on the fact that like we have an extremely healthy relationship. Like
Mhm.
we are not perfect, but we are really close to our version of whatever perfection is.
Yeah.
And we were at first like a lot of people are like, why are you guys doing that? Like everything's fine. And
People are like, is everything okay?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
but even when we first met, like on some of our first dates, we're like, what do you think about marriage? And we were both like, we'd love to do like premarital counseling one day, not even knowing
That's
we're going to
cool.
marry each other. But it's just something we both have always wanted to do. And we're not super traditional people, but this is definitely one of the things where like, this feels like it's going to set us up for success. And like everything is perfect now, but life's like children happen and marriage and jobs and things just change. And we're like, we want to be so sure that whatever hurdles we are going to face in the future, we at least have like the skill set to do it now rather than like scrambling when things might not be the best and trying to figure that out. Yeah. So we're on we just finished our 5th session. And we have a little date night every night after premarital counseling. We love our therapist. Shout out to Dr. Holly. Yeah. She's incredible. And we feel like we are best friends to our core. Like there's no way we could be closer. But when we leave there, like we always affirm each other, how much we love each other and like how amazing our relationship is. But hearing it from a professional who's been doing this for upwards of 15, 20 years, her just being like, you guys are a match. Like we leave with so much more confidence in our relationship and even in our individual selves.
Yeah, I mean, getting the affirmation from her every single time, she'll be so shocked of like, you guys already talked about this? Okay. And then she'll just be like, has anyone ever told you guys that you're so much like almost the same person and just like friends? And we're like, oh, we know.
But we're like, it feels better coming from you, honey.
Yeah, I was like,
you know what you're
right? Yeah, you're like, tell us more. Yeah.
Like, you are a professional. This is your livelihood. Yeah. And for her to say that after everything she's seen and all her experience, it feels so good to get that affirmation from her because it's like we already know it, but to hear it from a non-biased third party in every sense of the word is just, it feels so good.
Yeah. And I think like I saw this TikTok the other day and this girl was like talking about her standards and like the comments did not pass the vibe check at all. They were like, your standards are too high. Like you're never going to find it. I'm thinking, oh my God, I started typing and I ran out of characters. And because I wanted to come to her defense so bad, like I just tell everyone like, keep them high. Like this man, and not even to like, I mean, I tell you this all the time, but like he is, I mean, the most amazing human being I've ever met in my entire life. And I was never going to settle or marry someone who wasn't the closest thing to that. And you always have like a fairy tale in your mind of what this person will be. And he has so far exceeded that. And so when I hear people in these like really shitty situations and just terrible relationships, and trust me, I know that they're harder to leave than it is to just say, I get that. But like, be so optimistic is what I try to tell people all the time. Because if you would have ever told me a man like him and like wanted to get married and start a family and like loved me, I'd be like, okay, like that's a little far-fetched. And now I'm living it and I'm just like, I want this for all the girls in the world. Like I want this for all my friends, all my family, even women I don't know. I'm like, everyone deserves their Rodney, seriously. And I hope everyone stays dangerously optimistic like this man is, and waits for
Yeah.
the because it gets so much better. Like he's just out of this world, truly.
Yeah.
We always told each other we would never settle. Way before we met each other, that was our standard. And yeah, I think we both, have had friends ask us, "Do you think your standards are too high?" And I gladly told my friends, "No, I don't." Like the standard is the standard. I want the best. I want someone who can match me, emotionally and mentally and physically, and it just in every single way.
And we were happy with our lives before we met each other. Like we didn't have a reason to settle. Truly, we were living. We were fine.
And we were just so successful in so many different aspects of our lives, except that one main aspect of finding love. But we, in ourselves independently, we were already so happy with who we are as people and the growth that we've made through our lives and our stories and our journeys. But man, I always told everybody, I was like, I refuse to settle because I know she's out there. I prayed for her my entire life. And, once she appeared and that light just shined on her and in the whaler, I was like, that's her. Like, it's just like, it was like my soul's recognition of the other soul that I've been praying for my entire life. It's like, this is my best friend. It's my favorite person in the world. The kindest, sweetest person I've ever met. And she just so happens to be the funniest and cutest person I've ever met. So I'm just like, this is it. Let's do it.
Yeah, definitely. I know it seems like you guys just kind of had your own like self-discovery journeys separate from each other first, and then you knew who you were as a person and were just like ready to find love and like a companion really and find that other match. And we saw it maybe more publicly with you, Rodney. It was like, I think just on the show, a lot of other people maybe go into it not with the right intentions, but it really seemed like you were open and ready to take that next step in life. And then even though it didn't work out on the show, it 100% worked out in real life. And like, I'm just so happy that you guys are happy together and have just found your other half and like are truly taking this seriously too with your premarital counseling and just like tackling those hard questions right away and really thinking about your future and thinking it through and making fast decisions. I love it.
100%.
It's so good. Well, we can wrap up here. Do you guys want to give any shout outs about like projects you have going on or like Rodney, anything with real estate?
Honestly, no. On my side, I stay, busy with real estate, which has been nice. Working two jobs, doing whatever I can to provide and be happy on my side as well. It's just kind of what I've always done. And for me as a realtor, it's like, hey, I work all over Los Angeles, all over the Inland Empire where I'm from. I tell people all the time, anywhere in SoCal, I can help you out. Even in Northern California, I've had a couple people hit me up, friends and family and some referrals. And I'm like, I can help you out as much as possible. But I am mostly based in Southern California. So if anyone needs any help with real estate, especially during these trying times, I'd love to help them out. But I know
awesome.
It's not even no. I'm just in my Netflix bubble. Like we have such different careers now, which is funny because I actually work on the show Love is Blind. So like I'm behind the scenes for a reality show. He's in front of the camera on a reality show.
Yeah.
Our lives were just meant to.
Wow. Yeah.
So no, I'm just in my Netflix bubble, but yeah, we're trying to win this Webby for fan and community engagement, which would be my first Webby, which is super exciting. But
please
really,
go vote.
Babe, you're great. Thank you. No, we're just so focused on this wedding and all the events. Next month is my bridal shower, and then it's his bachelor party, and then it's my bachelorette party, and then we get civilly married in July at a Pasadena City Hall, and then our wedding and our honeymoon, and so many things. We're saving for a home, so that's where we're at. But we're just so excited for all these next chapters. So
yeah,
buy a house.
So exciting. I know, yeah. Buy a house, vote for Ari. Like
All
Yeah.
the things.
Did you guys just go to the Love is Blind finale? Did I see something like that?
Yes, so Ari was
Oh, yeah.
working, and it was pretty much you bring your fiance to work day. And so
Love.
I was just back there like cheering her on. I love seeing her in action, like doing her job. The cast loves her. She always makes them feel so comfortable. Ari
And a
is
few people from the show came because Nate lives in Austin now.
Yeah, we had Nate, Mike Johnson, Daniel, Leroy. I had some friends from obviously, my franchise. But it's so cool to see how they react to Ari because Ari's the one who interviews them before they go into the pods and before their lives change forever. And so he always jokes that she's the last person they see before, they become big and become someone notable on TV and stuff. And it's just, it's a crazy world that we live in. And all the people that would come up to me like, what are you doing here? This is the wrong event. And I was like, no, I'm just supporting my
Everyone's
fiance.
like, I thought you were engaged. Why are you in love? I'm like, he's just here for fun, guys.
This is
Right. Yeah.
I'm just here supporting my fiance. All right.
But it's
Right.
funny to see all the reality fans in the same place and see the Bachelor Nation people in the Love is Blind. So we're just working and planning weddings and just staying home as much as we can. Like this weekend, that's our big plans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. I love all the success that you guys have had just in your own careers and then bringing that together and then setting yourselves up for a successful marriage too. So that's so good. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on today. Definitely go give them follows on Instagram. Check out their content. I'll link all of that in the show notes and link to Rodney's real estate and everything. And happy wedding. If I don't talk to you guys, cannot wait to see the photos and everything. It's going to be gorgeous. So thanks for sharing all the fun details with us today.
Thanks
so much.
for
having us, Alyssa.
Yeah. Have a good one, guys. Bye.
Bye.
There you have it. Another episode of the Wedding Reporter podcast. To see those gorgeous wedding and engagement photos, head over to NashvilleBrideGuide.com for more behind the scenes content. And if you like this episode, I would so appreciate it if you would rate and subscribe the show. See you next time for another great episode.